Peace and good afternoon, and welcome to the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministry. My name is Elder Elvis, and you will be joining me here for the first half of the show. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Before we get started, let me start by reading a Psalms unto you. O sing unto the Lord a new song. Sing unto the Lord all the earth. Sing unto the Lord. Bless his name. Show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the heathen, his wonders among all people. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the nations are idols. But the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Give unto the Lord, O ye kindreds of the people. Give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Bring an offering and come into his courts. O worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth. Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. Let the heavens rejoice, and let the earth be glad. Let the sea soar, and the fullness thereof. Let the field be joyful, and all that therein. Then shall all the trees of the wood rejoice before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness, and the people with his truth. Peace, everyone. Welcome. How are you guys today out there in Cyberland, and of course here at the headquarters of the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministry? Time sure flies these days. We're already in November, pretty much the last stretch of it. Just this morning we're saying the time flies, what's going on with it and how it is. And boy, we're almost in that midst of the December month. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't want to really say it, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, what are we talking about today? This is an interesting topic. Have you guys ever watched some of those movies where they have these post-apocalyptic zombie, and you're trying to figure out, so if that's happening, that some virus comes and you have no time, you wake up, and all of a sudden everybody is doing madness. You're wondering, where do I go for protection? What do I do? What's the first thing that you should think of when you are in a situation of a crisis? What are these things? I mean, it could be a tsunami. It could be an earthquake. I mean, do you have time to prep for these things? In most cases, you don't have time to prep for these things because it comes sudden. There are times when you can say, okay, there's a hurricane coming, and they'll tell you it's going to happen in 3 to 5 days, and this is the route of the hurricane. So people that know those things do have some time to prep. But what about things when you don't have any prep time? What are you going to do? Where can you go to find some safe haven? Where can you go to find shelter? Do you know those people that, these doomsday, what do you call them? Doomsday radical, people that, these rich guys, these people that they have too much time on their hands, too much money, and they build these underground bunkers about 100 feet down. It's got everything. Casinos, saunas. You got to check these things out. Seriously. They have water, pool. Like, they're living a life, and they're saying that if some doomsday happen, they prep. They seal the door, they shut it, and they're good for 5-10 years underground. Don't have to see Elder Shell shaking her head. Why are you shaking your head? It's crazy. They have too much time on their hands type of thing, and too much money. They should send some here, you know that. While you're out there on the chat land, put some stars, some sevens, fire, whatever, when you're ready and whatnot. Hello, Elder Toriano. She doesn't like me calling her out. Listen, I got a great story to follow our topic, which is shelter in the midst. So, meaning here in Canada, we know that if there's a blizzard coming, you get these warning, hey, ice storm is coming, snowstorm, and we know what we do. They shut things down. But what about people, as I said, that don't have time for these things? let's kind of go to Genesis. You guys know where I'm going. So let's go to Genesis. We'll start off with Genesis 6. Got my guys here today. All right. And we're going to start off pretty much at verse 9. And you guys know the story. This is the story of Noah and what's going on and how things happen in those days. Verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in the generations, and Noah walked with God. Already off the bat, Noah was a just man, meaning that in order for you to be a just person, you pretty much have to be right in the sight of the God. At this time, it was, God. Verse 10. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And by the way, at the very beginning, just to clarify this, as we get later on into the next chapter, because everybody is wondering, where did I come from type of thing? How come there's all these different colored people on the earth? Now, in these days, there was just a one type of skin color, just to clarify things, obviously. And if Noah was the only person left alive and he had 3 sons and they were all black, you know the story. I don't have to tell you about anything about where you came from. So just accept it. Whether your skin is lighter from mine, just accept that you come from black, period. Okay? And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. Oh my goodness. So the whole earth, it's almost like today, you know that. We're almost like today when things are so corrupt. We're almost exactly at that point again. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, and for all flesh had corrupted his way upon. So all flesh, we're talking every single person on the planet was corrupt in the eyes or in the sight of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So he's come to Noah. Noah's the only guy that seems to be doing well, that's following his rules, his law, and whatnot. But everybody else was corrupt. I wonder how it got there. Okay. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine this? Noah's talking to God, and God says, listen, Noah, things are not so good looking, actually. Everybody's gone on the wayside, and I got to clean up house here. So I have to destroy the earth. But I like what you're doing. You're good. So let me see what I can do for you. Okay? I'll destroy everything. We're talking everything that is on the land. And that's an interesting thing. So if it's on the land, what do you think's happening in the ocean? We might talk a little bit about that. So this is what God's telling Noah. So remember what I said, where can you go for shelter? What would you do? We didn't these days, technology could tell you path of hurricanes. They could kind of detect tsunamis, seismic activities when things are happening. But in most cases, you still can't prepare properly because there's people that the other day meaning a few weeks ago, hurricane happened in Florida and people are fleeing. Like you've seen on these movies and people are fleeing. The highways are jammed in one way, nobody's moving, and meanwhile one guy's going the opposite way and it's all cleared. So in a case like this, Noah is getting the up ahead report to say, hey, listen, make an ark of gopher wood, rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pit it within and without with pit. So he's giving him what to do. So Noah's a just man. He's going to follow the instruction on how to build this ark, because I am going to clean up. I'm going to wipe things out. Now the living thing is going to be left alive on the land. So therefore, for you to be saved, here's what I'm going to do for you, because I like what you did. You're following my stuff, my rules and whatnot. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. Now, we're wondering these days, how big is that? Because this is no simple structure, actually. For you to build an ark, because obviously as we read down, he's going to get instructions on, you got to collect this, you got to collect that, you got to collect so many of this and so many of that, and on top of that, you're going to be here with this and everything for a while. So therefore, how big do you think that is? A football field? An aircraft carrier? I don't know. That's, pardon, Auntie Shan? What?
A three-story building.
A three-story building. Man, three-story building, we can't even fit in it right now. If you say a three-story building, I mean, how many people could fit in there? How about animals? How about bird, like flying stuff? How about food, water, like you sure it could everything? And you're not gonna, somebody's not gonna be disgruntled because you left them behind? You sure? 3-story? I mean, that kind of sounds small. 3-story? Yeah. I mean, 3-story sounds like, I mean, you guys have seen structures. For you guys, you know this, what's it called, the Sky Dome? No, Rogers, the name's changed so many times. I'm used to calling it the Sky Dome. But you guys are calling it the big, where everybody plays the football. It's big. It's huge. Okay, let me this is to give you guys an idea of how big this thing is. A window shall thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof. With lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. Well, he's saying stories, but in those days, they're not measuring like today's time. So you could kind of say 3 stories, but is it the equivalency of today's stories? That's a question to ponder. Is it the same measurement? We got the scholars here. We got Jakim and Miriam. These guys should be able to pull these answers out just like that. You guys are looking at me like... Anyway. And behold, I will bring a flood of water upon the earth to destroy all flesh therein in the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. Wow. So everything on the planet is going to die. So just think, all the birds in the air that you see fly by, all those creepy things that you guys hate, like, you know, if there's a centipede, all those frogs, snakes, they're all gonna die. That's a harsh thing. Imagine that. All the animals, the fluffy bunnies you guys like to pet. You're laughing. All those pet lizards that you guys like to collect and say, this is my pet, the pet hamsters and rat, everything's gonna have to go. Yes, seriously. Nothing's gonna be left. Now, what about sea creatures? Are they not corrupt too?
No, they stay in the sea.
You sure? So the sea creatures, they do stay in the sea actually, because it says on the land, not in the ocean. So that's what a good chunk of space saver right there actually. So we're going to have to go. Anyways, let's continue reading. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy son's wife with thee. Let's stop there for a sec. So he's saying, okay, this is what you have to do. I'm going to give you the blueprint to build this ark. You have to be made from this specific material. And it has to be this much in length, this much in height, and this much in width. And once you do build all that and everything is set, you're going to have to bring not just yourself, but you're going to have to bring your wife, your son, and your son's wives with you. And you guys are the only people that's going to be saved. And just keep in mind that from these people, that is all the population that is now on the planet. Just those 3 from Noah's time. So just remember that. And by the way, just think of the fact that when he says, let's build it, it's not like in cartoon when they get a couple of boards and and the ark is set and we're good to go. It's not like that. So this took years. You didn't have those cranes that said, hey, the foreman that says, hey, move that over there. And you didn't have those drills. No, this stuff took years and years upon years to build. He's got to bring the materials, got to haul it. So you could just imagine, as we're reading here, you got to put yourself in here to see how long it's taken him and what he has to do to get it done and the measurement. I mean, for us, yeah, we'll be baffled. And every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shall thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. So I guess this is where people are always telling you that story. Noah brought 2 by 2 into the ark because they read that one scripture and they stopped there. And that's the end of the story. And everything is 2 by 2. Okay, nobody likes to read on it. They just like to sift or cherry pick. You ever see people do things that? You ever meet with somebody and they're cherry picking and they don't want to give you the full story? By the way, there's 3 sides to the coin. Side, center. Didn't know that? Now you do. All right, let's continue moving on. Where am I at? Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping things of the earth shall after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come into thee to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all foods that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus Noah did according to all that God commanded him, did he. So food for everybody. And you're probably thinking burgers and fries, and no, in those days they didn't have burgers and fries. It's dried stuff, dried meat, dried figs, all these things, because he doesn't know yet how long he's going to be on that ark or that boat. You have no idea. He hasn't been told how long he's going to be there yet. No, he hasn't been told. So he's just following commandments to say, hey, you got to build this and bring all these animals aboard, plus your family, because I'm going to wipe everything. I'm going to do a cleansing. I have to, because it's corrupt. Why is he doing it? Because man and their imagination is just beyond what we could even think, actually. That is why. The heart of man at that time is so corrupt that he has to destroy it. There was another case like that in Sodom and Gomorrah when he had to destroy all the plains and everything because of that same thing, that corruption. And it has to be like a massive cleansing. So this one was a supermassive cleansing. Not like when they say, oh, some meteorite come and land and crash and wiped out all the dinosaurs. Yeah, all those things like that is just hocus pocus. But here we have proof that he says, I'm going to destroy the earth, okay? By water, actually, which is a cleansing element. So you guys have to understand this at this time. We're going to go into chapter 7, actually, because the story is not done about us having a shelter in the midst. You have to have a shelter. But in this case, Noah was given the upper head plan to say, you got to build this is what you got to do, and things will come out nice and smooth for you. And because he's a just man, God saw favor in looking at him. Chapter 7. And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Now here we go. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and the female, and of beasts that are not clean by 2, and the male and the female. So unclean, 2 by 2, clean, why 7? You got to eat some. You know how it is, man. Those bullocks, those lambs, those things are really, you roast those bad boys. They taste really good. Chicken or what do you call them? Those hens in those days, quails. But just imagine now since you've all gone through some schooling system, you can imagine how many different types of animals there are on the planet. Just for a second, imagine with me. How many different types of land animals and flying animals? That's a lot. That is a lot. And you guys think, oh, we just eat cow. There's so many other types of stuff that we can eat. Venison. What else? Wildebeest. Come on, Jakim, help me out, man. Go on the mic. Deer. Yeah, venison is there. Yeah. Buffalo. That's a good meat, by the way. I've had buffalo. It's 100% pure, good meat. You've never had it. You should try it next time you get a chance. Try it. But seriously, just think of all those animals. What do you think? 100 types of species? 1,000? You don't know? Check it out. When you get a chance, go and do a little Google. How many species of land animals are there in the time of Noah? Just like that. It'll give you a good idea. And I'm sure it's a lot of animals. And all that. Now remember what we said, 3 stories high? But how high is 3 stories in those days to now? Well, it was 100 length and 50
cubits wide.
Right.
And the breadth of it is 100 and something.
You want to flash back to number 6?
Yeah.
What does it say?
300 cubits.
Whoo! So is that like from, if you go downtown Toronto, is that like from going up to the CN Tower height or one of those tall BMO buildings? Is it like that? Or one of those tall buildings up in Vaughan that are like touching the clouds? Is it like that? Don't forget the length's got to be the longer part, that 300. So is it as long as from here all the way to Vaughan? Just kidding. But seriously, just think of it. It has to be a very large vessel. Longer than the subway train? Absolutely. Because remember, we got to house a lot of land animals. And it's 7 by 7 for the clean and 2 by 2 for the unclean. And don't forget, you got to have some flying guys, the guys that are flying. So even the unclean, like the buzzard, the vulture, the turkey, which is a domesticated buzzard, if you want to know, they tamed the buzzard and now they call it a turkey. That's why it's an unclean bird. So. And by the way, why is it bald? Because it's got to stick its head between the bones and skeleton, to get the meat. Whatever. Let's continue reading. Of fowls also of the air by 7s. See, 7. And the male. Now that's interesting. The male and the female to keep seeds alive upon the face of the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of. So Noah's given some more information now. So he says, in 7 days, doomsday is going to hit. Flood's going to come down upon you. And you will be it will happen for 40 days and 40 nights that this rain, this flood is coming. So he's got some idea, okay, Noah's built. And by the way, from when we did chapter 6 to now when he says you got to get in there and in 7 days, how long of a time span is that happening? Is it a day, a week, a couple of months? How long do you think it would take to build such a large vessel?
Maybe 3 years?
3?
Maybe.
Oh, no.
He didn't have a lot of help.
No, he didn't have a lot of help. That's right. But now remember, at this time Noah was what, 600 and something? Just so we're looking at some numerical data here. Noah was 600 and something. What was that, Elder Harriet? So 100 years it took him? 50 years?
No.
3 years? Oh, in the chat, send us some information. How long do you think it took to build this ark with the tools he had in those days? Okay, and don't forget the vastness of this vessel. So put some information in there. Hopefully, AV or somebody else could tell me what's happening, because I don't have my phone here. But you can tell me how long it may take Noah to have built this ark. Because the flood is coming. So Noah's got to build this. And God's not going to say, hey, Noah, listen, it's coming, but you didn't finish the project, so we're going to have to flood it anyways. No, he made sure that it was complete, and Noah was given a week's notice. It's coming. So he's already finished the ark at this point. And it's coming, so you got a week to kind of tidy up, say your goodbyes to these guys that kept saying, Noah, man, you look like you're a clown, you're building a boat. What float? Are you kidding me? And you know black people. We laugh you to scorn. Noah, you're building an ark? What? Flood is coming? You sure? You must have lost a screw, buddy. They're thinking Noah's crazy at this point. And also, here's another factor. Noah's got to get these ferocious animals also. How's that coming along? And he's not just got to get one set, but he's got to get 7, like some of these guys are like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Pardon? Oh, here's a factor. Is it a full-grown lion? So how would he get 7, and the room space, because these guys are huge. You guys ever seen polar bears, the largest bears on the planet? Tigers, those Siberian tigers, they're huge. They call them man-eating tigers. They're literally man. So therefore, that's a good point there, Elder Freddie. They had to be small at that time. Can't be full, because have you guys ever been to the zoo? And you guys go, oh, there's a tiger. It's over there. Here's the glass. Here's a tiger. You guys are standing way back here because you're afraid to even go up to the glass. Why? Why are you guys afraid to go up? But there's a glass there. You still think it's going to bust through? Is that why you're afraid? So you can imagine if you had to get full-grown tigers and lions and bear. In those days. Yeah, it's quite an interesting. So keep these things in mind. Noah had a week to clean up house and says, all right, we're done. Any last minute things that we need to get, let's do it. We got a week, because it's going to happen, and it's going to happen for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, here we have witnessed and have been in some torrential rains. Us here, I know all of us have experienced that. And when it came, it's called a flash flood. The sewers are filled up, and even highways are closed. And this is only for a few hours. And the water, it's up to, when you open the car door, it's already up at that level. In some cases, it's up to the window. I've seen these right here in Toronto, in Mississauga. So you can imagine a few hours, that much rain fell on this GTA area, we call it, Greater Toronto Area. And nobody's moving because you're flooded. So you can imagine 40 days, 40 nights of rain. And it's not just no little rain. And it's going to describe later on where the rain is coming from. Okay? And you guys always think it's just coming from above. Not so. All right, let's move on. I'll read 4 again. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. So Noah was, and he's still in his prime, by the way. Listen, in those days, those guys lived long. We would love to get a quarter of that age thing upon us, because people don't even live past 40 these days. They die quick, man. Some minor little cold, and they're already in the hospital, and they don't even come back out. Listen, these are facts. Just a lot of things that most people don't like to live up to is when it's facts. Death is part of life, so get used to it. You might end up going to bed and not wake up. Just make sure you're on the right side, though. That's the problem. A lot of people are not on the right side, so just get used to it. It's like breathing air. I mean, you do have to breathe. Right, Ishika? You got to do that. Exactly. And Noah went in, his sons and his wife and his son's wife with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Verse 8, of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls and everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in two and two unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God had commanded Noah. So God had a part in this to say, all right, since I've got to save my species that I've created, and God can do this. The animals will come to Noah and he'll set them so it's not like Noah had to go to, as we are in Canada, he had to fly all the way to the continent of Africa and grab some lions, go all the way to Australia and get some kangaroos. Didn't have that those days. Just imagine, what's so funny, Jakim? The story of trying to fly then, that's a lot of fuel you got to get there. Plus the overnight trip, the overnight stay. Anyway, all right. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th month of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened up. All right, so stop there for a second. So we know when we say heavens, we're talking up. But here it also mentioned the fountains of the great deep. So we're talking, is that coming from the bottom? Yeah. So the water wasn't just coming from up, but it was also coming from down. That's why nowadays sometimes they say, oh, I found an underground well or underground river that's underneath the rocks and stuff like that. It's like well water. There's a river. They discovered some river that is flowing. So yes, there's water coming from down there too. So just imagine this. The water's coming. So you're trapped, in other words. You can't go down and you can't go up, and there's water coming all over the place. The only place that you can find shelter is in this ark. The only place. And what happened to all those other peoples? Well, let's continue because you're going to find out that water is going to go so high, no matter if you're, what is his name, Michael Phelps, you can't escape. Not happening. Or Aquaman or whatever you might call him. Not happening because you're going to drown. Period. And why is that? Because the earth was very corrupt and violent at that time. God didn't like what was happening. He created man, and the thing that he created, he was displeased because of the corruption. Simple play. And that's almost like today, where there's so much corruption, so much evil going on, so much wickedness. And where can you go to find shelter from these things? Can you go to your house? Remember, we're talking about these doomsday shelter. Can you build that stuff and survive for 10 years? You think that's going to help you? Or somewhere up in the mountains, in the Andes, you built some fortress in the mountain. That's going to help you? You know, they always portray these things on TV with the movies that they make to think that you can escape by building some deep underground or deep in the mountains, and you have your food and you're good, you got the remote, and yeah, right. Listen, I like to pollute your brain, so just be aware of that. Okay? And by the way, did anybody in the chat say how the thing about Noah was? Anybody? We want some facts, man, because we're trying, in our world today, it's hard to conceptualize how it was in those days to now. We're so used to what we see and we think it's this. And we're also thinking that, oh, Yeah, Noah built the stuff, and in about a couple of months, it's all set up. You know how they put up these, what do you call it, matchbox houses? Boom, 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 and there's a whole bunch. Yeah. Like, you know, it's all set to go, and you could move in next week. It's not like that. It took years for Noah to build this ark. It took years to get, because he's got to drag whatever the gopher wood from whatever place, and some of them were thick. Have you guys ever lifted a plank? Like, even if it's 8 by 2 by 4, whatever, 2 by whatever, 8 by whatever. Yeah, have you ever tried lifting it? Carrying it on your shoulder? It's heavy. Or even things like oak wood or maple wood or walnut, they're heavy. Those things are heavy. You know, you ever get your finger clamp? No, because I'm just trying to give you a little perspective of how difficult it was for Noah, because he only had him and his sons. No other help. He didn't have a team of 100 guys helping him. No bulldozer, no excavator, no crane. Just think. And for him to build such a structure at that time and to have it stayed. And there's people still to this day trying to find Noah's Ark, saying, oh, I think it finally landed, or it stayed somewhere up in the Himalayas mountain or whatever. Right, okay. Just like the Ark of the Covenant somewhere in Africa, right? In some cave. Let's not go there. Now, where am I? All right. We'll do it at 16. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lifted up above the earth. So it was flooded, the whole planet was flooded. Finally, it got enough buoyancy to be on its own, because there was that much water now that it could float on the water. But just as I said, this is a big vessel. I mean, you've seen aircraft carriers floating in the harbor, and the harbor is not even that deep. So for this thing to have all these animals, all the food, the birds and things. And by the way, the interaction that's happening at that time, can you imagine that? All these animals talking to each other, the noise level. You'd be hearing all kinds of, like all those things going on. Can you just imagine the good communication going on in those days? Or whatever, who was, pardon? Or the monkeys, they may be swinging and doing their thing and going back all over. You could just imagine that if you had to put that in a cartoon type of setting, people be bouncing all over the place and animals chit-chatting here and there. There's a party over there, there's a party over there type thing. Who knows? But again, to have all of that coordinated and built and be stable and not be afraid, because now the only thing that is solid is that ark. Let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever been on a long distance flight that's like 10 hours, 15 hours? Okay, I've been on one of those. I'll give you a little thing. So I've been to New Zealand, okay? And New Zealand, which is an island, South Pacific, beside Australia. For you to get there, it's a long flight. And I'm used to when we leave from here and I'm going to Europe, I see land, you look down, oh, okay, you're passing over, you see a mountain range and whatnot. When you're going to New Zealand and you look down, all you see is the blue, just water. And the only thing, like if at that moment, if you get into your mind and you get that claustrophobia thing, you're in trouble, you're done for. Because all you're looking down and you're seeing There's no land to reference to say, okay, we got land. If we crash, we could probably survive. No, listen, it's a good 15, 16-hour flight. So drunk up, pass out, and wait till you get back on the ground. And when you're there, you feel so isolated because, as I said, there's so much water you're looking down, and you're just saying, oh my goodness, there's no land. There's no reference to kind of keep your sanity going. It's a very interesting feeling, actually. So if you get that chance, me and you, we could talk more about it, because then you know what I'm talking about. I'm used to seeing land mass, and everybody's used to seeing that. But that was a scary feeling. So in this case, Noah's saying, listen, we hope this thing don't sink, because he got all these animals, and we're the only ones left on the planet, and this is the only solid thing left on the earth, because everything is watered. And who knows how deep this thing is? No, like the water. Is it like the depth like Lake Ontario? No. No? What, you think deep? We're not there yet. She's giving all the answers away. No, she says it covers a mountain. Yes, absolutely. To cover a mountain. First of all, we are all used to skyscrapers. You just go downtown Toronto and there's tons of, and that's not even near the height of a mountain. Or even the CN Tower. Just think, the CN Tower is very, very tall. Even that is not the height of a mountain. So imagine just the CN Tower's height alone. Just think how deep that water must be. And now if you think of Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on the planet, it's like 5,000 feet, or over 6,000 meters. It's tall. Just think. Over 5 kilometers. You guys already know how far a kilometer is. Or 1 mile. Just think, it's like well over 5, 6 for the depth of it. So you can imagine if you fall down and you can't swim, you will sink. And there's no, there's an island, we're going to swim to the island. There's nothing to cling on to, because everything is flooded, and it's been happening. By the way, it's still raining, by the way. So you know what happens. Us guys, we're afraid of get wet here. It's not like in Jamaica when you can play in the rain because it's warm. Over here, you feel miserable because it's cold. Oh, heck yeah. We run out of that. I mean, come on. Who's with me? The fact that you get in trouble when you used to play in the rain back home in the Caribbean because it's warm. The only thing we get in trouble is they said, oh, you might get hit by lightning, which is true, but we couldn't care because we were children at that time. Pardon? Did the fishes die? Fishes die? Did the fishes die? No. The fishes were not corrupt. Fish or fishes? Okay, so the plural is when it's more than one. So why can't we say fishes? Do we have to follow that English rule? Why? Why? But it's more than one. I mean, tying up your tongue and...
It's school of fish. It's school of fish. Right.
School of fishes. I mean, seriously, it's more than one, according to their rules of English grammar.
Which is the language we're speaking. Right.
All right. You got me there. Where am I here? All right, verse 19. Verse 19. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. So all the high hills, we're talking the mountains and all these things were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. So just think of all like the, what do you call it? There's the Colorado Rocky Mountains. This is North America. Then you've got the Andes in South America. Then you've got the Himalayas mountain range, like, geography. But all these mountains are tall that you climb up and you're already going, it's so thin, the air's so thin, I can't breathe, because there's no air up here. But all of those were covered. All these mountain ranges, everything on the planet was covered. So therefore, you could now imagine, based on your knowledge of today's geography, how high that water is. And again, 40 days and 40 nights it rained, and not just from up, but also from down it was coming. So you're getting hit on both ends. And the only thing that's saving Noah, that the shelter in the midst of this storm, is this ark. And all the animals that he had to take on, it's not just a few, we're talking thousands of different animals. That include the bird species also. What about the sea creatures? They're good. They're in their element. They're good to go. So they don't need to worry about taking them on. They're already there. But everything else had to be in that ark. So this is a total annihilation. In other words, a total cleansing. Got to clean up. Why? Because, again, there was so much corruption that you had to just, this is way too messy. I can't just pick out here, there. No. Just one man I saw that was doing good. He was righteous and just. But everybody else, you guys got to go. I got to start the slate all over. Got to clean up. It happened a bit, as I said, in Sodom and Gomorrah, and again, that corruption and whatnot. So it is what it is. And for us, in today's time, if we want to, I said, get shelter, there's only one place that you can go. That is the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministry, where you can have safe haven, actually. Because everything else out there, forget it. You're going to be eating unclean animals. You're going to be doing things against your culture that you're not supposed to do. You're going to be worshiping some God that is actually not even a God. Okay? An idol. Now, picture this. I do plants. Okay? So imagine me taking a seed of something and I plant it, I nurture it, I let it have the water, the soil, the rain, the temperature, and as it grows up, I'm going to have this thing that I took care of. I got to worship it now? Like, how foolish is that? But in this case, it's an idol that doesn't even have any life in it. Like, people build things that have no life in it, and now you're going to give that thing power over you by you making the rules that this is how we're going to behave, and everybody's going to conform to it, and if you don't, you go radicalism on it. Like, that is so, I still can't get it. That is so weird. The fact that you built something and then you give that thing to give you power over you. Like, how does that work? And it doesn't even move. Like, wow, that's crazy. I got to figure that one out one of these days, how the mind works and how people do that. We're at verse 21. How much time do I have? 10 minutes? Wow. We're almost done, actually. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle and of beast and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. And when we say man, we're talking man and female, so everybody get guys saying, what about this? No, everybody. Just whoever Noah brought in was him, his wife, his son, and his son's wife, and the animals that he chose, the 7, because obviously he just picked out 7 of this and 2 of that pair, and everything else that he didn't pick out had to go, baby. You know how it is. You got to go. You didn't get the draw, so you got to go. Unfortunately, seriously. I mean, we picked out 7 good sheeps, but the rest of you guys, I'm sorry, you didn't make the cut, unfortunately. Seriously. So really, the good stuff had to die too. Why? Because man corrupt everything, period. That's the heart of man, actually. And by the way, man is the only one that's given that option to do whatever imagination comes to his heart. All other animals just live and die and do what they need to do in the structure of, okay, I got to kill to eat, and there's somebody above me that's going to kill me to eat. That's just the structure of the nature of animals. Some are at the top of the food chain, some are in the middle, and some are at the very end that just, listen, all these cannon fathers, you know what you got to do. That's why they don't feel pain when they die. Not like us who has emotions, and somebody dies, you wail for, who knows, even weeks after. Animals, they go, the weak, the sick, the old and the young. Oh, the lion's coming. They said, okay, we're picking that guy off, and we might defend him a bit, but once he gets picked off, yeah, it's good. Let's go. We got business to do. We got to keep the herd going, unfortunately. They don't stop to say, let's keep a funeral because somebody got picked off by a lion. Come on. Really. Because they understand, you got to go. Seriously. Anyways, where we at? Verse 22. All in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died. So everything on the land had to go. Period. And you can't save. And the men that were ridiculing Noah and laughing him to scorn at that time, you could just imagine that when he pulled that and the rain started, oh yeah, there's a little bit of rain. Let's just go inside, get the umbrella, okay? But then after, when they saw the rain, oh listen, maybe we gotta go talk to Noah. Maybe he's got room for us. We could pay a little thing and get in. But that was, when he was in, God of Israel sealed him in actually. So he couldn't even open it himself. And nobody can open it because he was sealed in, and that's it. Not opening right now because rain is coming and it's up to here. Now you're, what do they call it? What's the saying? You're at nose level, eyeball level. You're up to my eyeball, that term when you're in financial trouble. I'm up to my eyeballs. So, Chris, you're laughing. That's where all these terminology come from. I'm up to my neck. Okay, right, okay. But yeah, once you're up to your neck and you can't swim, you're already doing this. So my suggestion, make sure you guys take some swimming lessons, okay? It's good life skills to have, learning how to swim. Verse 23. And every living substance was destroyed which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle and the creeping things and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. So what do we got? 365 days a year. That's like about almost half a year the water stayed. That's a good saturation of cleaning out. So it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Heavy rain. Like you couldn't even see. There was a movie called Rain. You got to go and watch that. It's an old movie. Really good movie. Morgan Freeman. Watch that. But 40 days and 40 nights. It rained so hard. Not just coming from above, but from below. And beyond the height of all the mountains that you can think of on the planet. And it stayed for 150 days. That's a long... Listen, if you had to tread water, how long do you think you could tread water for? And that's just in the pool. Never mind the ocean where there's current that's twisting you and tossing you back and forth. We're talking everybody's... Pardon?
What's the situation, though?
What do you mean?
If my life is on the line, I think I'm going to keep going.
You think? 150 days?
Yeah. Then the Charlie horse.
Charlie horse? You didn't stretch, so yeah, it's going to hit you. Seriously, you're right. Because that water must be a little cool also at that time. It's not like the Caribbean's water that's nice. It's like in your bathtub, where it's like 80 degrees plus. Sharks? Yeah, you're getting yummed up by sharks. So whatever is floating around, there's a lot of food for these guys that said free food dinner served. Okay. I'm serious. Sharks and all these things, they love free food. Didn't have to work for that time. Oh my goodness. Whales, yeah. There's a story about Jonah that got swallowed, but not by, it says a great fish actually.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps thinking it's a whale.
Because that's the biggest fish.
It says by a great fish. You guys have to read, so don't let people put thoughts in your mind. Say, oh, it was a whale. Whale? Huh? It didn't say whale, it said fish. Okay? Just keep these little things in your mind to stay ahead of the curve. Don't let people put things in your mind. But yes, in that time, Noah was the only man that got the blueprint to build the shelter. Bring your family in, collect some animals because I got to clean up house. I got to wipe things out. Man's corrupt. The only thing that he's good for at this moment is just taking up space. So I got to start all over. And from this point, we knew that all the people on the planet Earth comes from this family. Amen. All the people. And by the way, to give you the facts, they were all black. So get that fact into your head. Don't think that, what's that theory? Some theory of evolution or whatever. You come from a Big Bang or more monkey business. No monkey business here. Yeah, so it's telling you the earth went through some cleansing. And in most culture, they have a recording of some type of disaster like this that occurred. They just don't want to tell you the truth. So it's up to you to always do your own research and look for the facts, because it's out there. But they're just trying to cover it, so you gotta be aware that, yes, people just come from black people, period. And by the way, as you know, in chemistry and physics and whatnot, the darker the color, the richer it is. Anything that starts to get thinner gets lighter, which weaker. It's also easier to say that when you're in the sunlight, your eyes, when the lighter the color of your eyes, the less you can stay in the bright light. That means you're coming from the weaker, like the lower level of it. The darker your eyes are, the stronger it is. Some natural facts for you. If you want to check it out, please do so, because such is that. Now, coming up after me, we got somebody that's going to bring the fire. You're looking back there. There's a man that's coming up. I've just lit the coals, but he's going to create a bonfire for you. Kim, I love that smile. Yeah, he is coming up. I'll introduce him to you. Obviously, you know, it's Priest Tyrone that I'm talking about, that he is coming up after you to bring the fire. And we're talking about the shelter. Where can you go in the midst of a storm to get shelter? Just think. I mean, in Revelation, it talks about when the new heaven and the new Jerusalem comes down, and the gates, and whoever is inside is good, but outside are the warmongers and the sorcerers and the idolaters. It means you're out. If you're outside that, you're in trouble. The murderers and the liars. If you're outside the gates of the city, you're in so much trouble. So where can you get the safe haven and the shelter? Right here. So get here. Because when things are happening, and it's getting closer and closer to those days of Sodom and Gomorrah anyways, and I don't have to tell you, you can see it happening in your own neighborhood. So everybody is saying, where can I go? Because there's so much madness going on. Safe haven, baby. You know where it's at. I'm taking that from Elder Harris' line. Right? It's like, safe haven, baby.
That's what it is.
See what I'm talking about? Oh my goodness. But anyways, I wanted to just say, hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Hope you learned a little bit of thing or two, even if it's just a little factual thing that adds to your knowledge, because you are a completely different person tomorrow, actually. Because your timeline, you learn things every day, and that means you're a new you. I hope you get that. You're a new. Every minute you're a new you. And with all of that, I say peace.
Hello. I hope you are enjoying our program so far. We are so thrilled you have decided to join us for today's event. If this is your first time, go ahead and hit that subscription button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all of our upcoming videos. Also, please like, comment, and share our videos.
Sharing shame and seeking forgiveness. We stand together, asking, do you hear us? God of Israel.
Thank you very much, Elder Elvis. That's crazy. And peace and welcome to everybody who's listening to us from Cyber World, and to the brethren at the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries worldwide in Toronto. Let's begin with a psalm. Blessed is he that considereth the poor. The Lord will deliver him in time of trouble. The Lord will preserve him and keep him alive, and he shall be blessed upon the earth. And thou wilt not deliver him unto the will of his enemies. The Lord will strengthen him upon the bed of languishing, and thou wilt make all his bed in his sickness. I said, Lord, be merciful unto me. Heal my soul, for I have sinned against thee. My enemies speak evil of me. When shall he die and his name perish? And if he come to see me, he speaketh vanity. His heart gathereth iniquity to itself. And when he goeth abroad, he telleth it. All that hate me whisper together against me. Against me do they devise my hurt. An evil disease, say they, cleaveth fast unto him, and now that he lieth, he shall rise up no more. Yea, mine own familiar friend, in whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread, hath lifted up his heel against me. But thou, O Lord, be merciful unto me, and raise me up, that I may requite them. By this I know that thou favorest me, because my enemy does not triumph over me. And as for me, thou upholdest me in mine integrity, and settest me before thy face forever. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, from everlasting and to everlasting. Amen and amen. It's an interesting subject matter that we're speaking about today. When you're talking and speaking about having safety in the eye of a storm or during a storm. Safety, where is that safety? Elder Elvis spoke about Noah and the ark. Elder Sophie came to me and said, how come that those that were around him didn't see what he was doing? And I said to her, it's quite simple, just look at today. You're building the nation all around you. There's a storm outside. And people think, what the hell are you doing serving this God? What are you doing? Why are you coming to this place, this temple? Why are you here in safety? Same thing. Those that in the days of Noah worshiping multiple gods, doing heinous things that they had to be wiped out. Think about it. They were doing evil, such bad things in the world. This same world that we're living in, same world. And the God of Israel looked down and said, I have to literally wipe this out clean. Clean. I've got to drown you. Not just the physical, also the spiritual. Because they were using various different types of spiritual advancements that we have no understanding today. And they were perverting and polluted the whole earth. But there's the God of Israel in all of his infinite wisdom, as we know him as the God of Israel now. Then he was God, Lord God. And he said, I'm going to make a safe place. And because I love the things I've created, I'm going to also keep them and bring them clean and unclean. And the people, the human that I've made, I'm going to keep them in one location. And there is going to be my refuge. That's my refuge. Well, let's look at it in today's terms. Exactly the same thing. The God of Israel has his place, Jerusalem. I'm going too far. Because I'm going to start talking and then I won't be able to read one scripture because I'll be speaking it all through. But he has one place, Jerusalem. He only sent one man, Moses, to go to the children of Israel and bring them out of their despair. Why? What was happening in Egypt? The worshipping of all the Egyptian gods. Gods that we don't even know. The sacrificing, the killing, the worshipping, the offering up of their children unto these gods of the dead. And the God of Israel said, I have to send someone to remove them from this because the world they're living in is corrupt. Lest I kill them with fire. This time. Yeah, it's coming. Instead, he said, I'm going to send plagues instead. 10 plagues instead. And I'm going to bring my people out into the wilderness. And what did they have therein? A tabernacle. A place where my God was, which kept moving through the wilderness. You know, from where they were to Canaan, do you know how long it was in terms of distance and traveling? 11 days. 11 days journey. Yet still they went 40 years in the wilderness because of their foolishness and disobedience and stubborn and stiff-neckedness. You know, I was speaking to someone today in this Caribbean restaurant and I understood the burden of Moses just a little bit because I was so frustrated talking to him. I'm speaking to him as a child of Israel, a descendant of a child of Jacob. You can see it all over him. And he's telling me about Africa and the philosophies and what they had. I said, my friend, you were sold into slavery and bondage. No, I'm African. And I looked at him and my testosterone was rising and I could feel the blood pumping through my vessels. And I was just so angry with him. I was angry. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, do you know you are? And he's there looking at me and he says, I said, number one, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. And I explained that to him clearly. I said, I'm an Israelite, the end. And I'm so angry looking at him. And another Jamaican man came in to buy the rice and peas and jerk chicken that I had. And he was more susceptible. He was listening more. But the younger one thought he knew too much. And I said to him, you know what you are? I said, you're stiff-necked. I said, you're stubborn. You see like Moses, Dathan, Korah, Abiram? You are them. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get very direct. I said, you are like Dathan, Korah, and Abiram. You. I know you didn't like it. I said, listen, but I'll still come and buy the jerk chicken and stuff tomorrow, you know, because it tastes good. And you're a child of Jacob, and I'll come and give you some money. But the problem is this. When you're trying to explain to them who they are, where their refuge is, why they're going through so much problems in their life, when you're looking out in the world and you're seeing the atrocities that's going on, yet still it's not happening to you. Why aren't you killed? Why haven't you gone on the highway and been wiped out by the truck? Why? Why has a storm come and your house isn't destroyed? Why? Tell me. Why is it that your children are safe? They're not dead. They're alive. Why is it that you have work and others don't? Why is it that they perish and you live? Why? Because the refuge that my God has made in Jerusalem is keeping you alive. That's why. Without the refuge, without a home, you have no stability. And everybody knows that. If there's no stability, you can't function. You can't operate to your peak performance. You cannot. And so that's why we have to understand why there is safety in the Israelite nation, in Jerusalem, the pillar at the border. But I want to ask a question. Is it Jerusalem or is what's in Jerusalem? You can answer. Shout it out. What's in Jerusalem? What's in Jerusalem, Auntie Shanette?
The children of Israel and the God of Israel.
The children of Israel and the God of Israel, Auntie Shanette said. Any more takers?
Are you talking current time?
Now, right now. Even then.
Oh, destruction is over there.
Hmm?
Pure destruction over there.
No, what is in Jerusalem?
Oh, the temple, well, it's broken down. The temple used to be there, you can say.
I'm looking for one thing.
Oh, the God of Israel's name?
His name, yes. Very important. The altar. That's what's in Jerusalem. You see, the altar is something that the council and the priest would always protect with all of our lives. Doesn't matter what may come, may go, doesn't matter. Because that is what is important. If you look in the world, you see many of the other philosophies, they have something like an altar. I wouldn't even call it an altar. I don't know what it is. And everybody can run up on it. I can stand on it with my shoes. I just walked across the desert and I can come there. I can come in my unholy garment. I sat on the bus. Someone died and they went to the funeral and I sat on it. I go into the altar. It's permitted. True or false? Well, false for here. False for here. Here is a no-no. But there, of course you can. And that's the distinction between your safety net. Your safety net is what's in Jerusalem. There is safety in the storm outside. You leave everything out and you come in, it's peaceful inside. And that's what we have to protect. I'm going to go to a first scripture. Auntie Shanette, guess which one it is? Say that again. Say that again. Yes. Okay, Psalms 46. Psalms 46. And the reason why I go to the Psalms, because there's so much about refuge, help, safety in the book of Psalms. That's what we're speaking about. There's a vicious storm taking place outside. In the days of Noah, there was a vicious storm taking place of a spiritual kind that had never been seen before. The God of Israel had to prepare a place where his people can come and be shielded from that and protected from that. It reads, it says, God is our refuge. What is a refuge? Elder Tammy said, safety and a place of protection. God is our refuge and strength, a present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Again, that was where? Even in the book, in the time of Noah. Okay. Though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof, Selah. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and the right early. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. So we have to begin to understand who is our refuge and where's his name. That's something don't ever take that for granted, brethren. Because we're dealing with a most powerful God, far beyond our human understanding. Far beyond. It's a place of refuge. His tabernacle, his presence, his name is there. Not my name. My name isn't there. My name is not on the top as you walk in. Your names are not there. Our names are humbled. We walk in as a privilege to be able to come and sit at his tabernacle. And for those who know, to put on our holy garments is not a right. It is a privilege and an honor to do so. That is humbling, very humbling, because we just read, though the mountains swell, the sea will roar. Could you imagine being in the ark? You ever heard thunder before? Who's scared of thunder? Some people are. Some people are scared when it crashes and the lightning. And I was watching something on YouTube the other day about people that got hit by lightning, walking, minding their own business. It's like they stand up still, down, boom. Could you imagine? And you are walking through that. Think of it in today's terms. You're walking through the storms of life. Every single one of you. You are. And it's the rage is around about you. But are you touched? Are you? No, not really. Not really. Because if the God of Israel was to truly say, okay, I'm going to test my people. You want to test me? I'm going to test you. I'm going to remove that hedge like I removed it from Job. How many of us would stand? Truly. And Job made sure he did what he needed to do. He made his early morning sacrifices in the morning for his children's sake, just in case they did something wrong. That's why our elders said these things to us. You wake up in the morning early. Why you wake up and it's midday? I know the young people had to sleep till 1 p.m. and the day is just getting started. No, it's not you, Joel. I don't ever hear that again. Right? The alarm doesn't work? Oh, I'm so glad you told me that. I have your phone number. I'll be phoning you 4 a.m. But you wake up early in the morning. Don't let the sun rise on you. Don't let it rise. You wake up in the morning. You breathe, go outside, take some fresh air. Thank the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for your life. You don't know what the day will hold. You don't know what tomorrow will hold. That next minute, you don't know. You have no idea what's waiting for you on the other side. Do you know what he said? He said there is a great gulf fixed. Once you're on that side, you can't go this side. This side, you can't go that side. Which side would you be? So your refuge must always be remembered. I was going to say something else. You got to remember who you are and where the refuge is. It's right here. The altar is here. I'm going to continue to read on because I have several Psalms that I actually want to go into. But let's go to Psalms 132. Well, I'm just going to go through them. And again, I want to emphasize on that this period, this time we're living in. Everybody is panicking. You got the Mississippi River drying up. You got parts in America is, I don't know, man. I used to love America so much. I want to go there, live there, all these things. I don't know now. Now there's gangs happening. This one's getting shot. Someone's going missing. There's human trafficking everywhere. There's all kind of things. You're looking and you're seeing the state of the tribes doing all kind of foolishness. All the state of the tribes, all of them, they're involved in some kind of foolishness. And the world is looking on, thinking that you are part of them. Why? By virtue that we share the same complexion. I'm not like that. You are not like that. And it's time that you all said, and we said, we are Israelites. And don't be ashamed of saying it. Because others would say what they are. They would say that they are this or they're that. You are an Israelite. When the man questioned me and asked me who I am, I said, I'm not African. I said, I'm an Israelite. He said, what's that? It's me to read the Bible. Yes, it's me. I further was increasing in frustration and anger against him. Because I'm like, what are you talking about? My temper's a bit short with them nowadays because they ought to know. And I said, you have the blood, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob flowing through your veins. And you're telling me that you are a what? You're an Egyptian? I don't understand what you're saying to me. And this is why we have to always remember this, brethren, that when you've heard the voice of our elder Shadrach, it goes in the book of John, my sheep hear my voice. They know me and they follow me. That's the Christ said that. But where are you following him to? I'm going to lead somewhere. So stay with me. So Psalms 132, it reads, Lord, remember David and all his afflictions, how he sware unto the Lord and vowed unto the mighty God of Jacob. Listen to what he just said. Listen to what he just said. He sware unto the Lord. When he's going through your hardship, and you come to the realization of, my God, at the temple, in the refuge, the place where you bow your head down, and the storm is outside, people are trying to kill you outside. They're trying to take your children from you. They're trying to take your life. They're trying to take what's yours. And I do mean not just your physical life, your spiritual life, where you live thereafter, by wooing you outside to serve other gods. What did he do? Lord, remember David and all his afflictions, how he sware unto the Lord and vowed unto the mighty God of Jacob, surely I will not come into the tabernacle of my house, nor go up unto my bed. I will not give sleep to mine eyes or slumber to my eyelids until I find out a place for the Lord and habitation for the mighty God of Jacob. That should be your prayer. I need to be where that place is, because that's my place of safety. When the world are trying to kill me and pull me down, where they try to distort you, where they try to afflict you, where they try to say all manner of things against you, find where my God's house is. The storm is outside. It's going to storm. Who outside can go outside and stop the rain? Stop it, please. You tried? How did it work? No, I think because you're Joe, so I think you try again. Try 7 times. It may work. That's what you didn't do. But do you understand what's being said? It said, lo, we heard of it in Ephrata. We found it in the fields of the woods. We will go into his tabernacle. We will worship at his footstool. How much more do we need from the God of Israel? How much? Ask me, just answer this question to yourself. Commune with yourself. How many of you talk to yourself positively along these words? How many? Find my God's house and be there, because that's where everything changes. Your whole life can change. Let's read on. Arise, O Lord, into thy rest, thou and the ark of thy strength. Let thy priests be clothed with righteousness, and let thy saints shout for joy. For thy servant David's sake, turn not away the face of thine anointed. Do you know what it means to be anointed of my God? Do you? Or is this something we just take for granted? Think about it. Think. It is a special gift and a privilege to be able to be anointed by the God of Israel in his tabernacle, to have the right, the privilege to come before his place and look at his servants and look upon your brethren and look upon the priesthood and look upon each other with love and with affection, preferring one another. That is in the house of my God. That is being in the temple of my God, away from the storm. You see, you can't come in and bring the storm inside. That's foolishness. If you're going through recklessness and you're in foolishness, don't bring it into the house of my God. Leave it outside. Leave the troubles outside. Many of us have troubles. True or false? True. But there's happiness here. You know, sometimes, I'm going to tell you this. I'll put a pin there very quickly. When I was in the UK, I was going through a hard week. It's always hard because at the time I'm an elite athlete, I'm training. I'm going to deal with this one, I've got to deal with that one. It's getting on my nerves. Lots of pressure. And when I'll come to, at the time we was in a community centre in the UK, and I would hear the singing. You know, I park my car, I start to have a little smile, you know, because I don't smile too much. I don't like smiling sometimes. And, you know, I park the car and I hear some singing in the distance. I'm saying, oh, sound like Charlene. I'm like, oh, yes. And then I come out, I take one foot out, and then I have a car. All right. I close the door. Okay. Start walking. You start feeling a little bit more jolly in yourself. You start jollying yourself. Okay. I open the door, and it just hits you. Whoom. They're singing. And you're just looking at worship, 5, 6 of them singing, and they're just singing. Do you understand what that does to you? You open the door and they're just singing. And all of a sudden it's like all the baggage I was carrying, all that weight, all the foolishness, it's off me. And I go in there and you start feel light and clapping. And you start, oh my gosh, I'm good now. All right. Okay, all right, I can loosen up. I can relax my shoulders. I can lessen my eyebrow frown. Why are you laughing, Shanette? But this is what it's about. That's only found in the tabernacle of my God. You ain't going to find it outside. You can put on clothes and you can go to a dance. Did I call it dance now? I don't know. Or you go to a lounge, small lounge now, and they're playing all the music. It gives you zero satisfaction spiritually. I promise you. There's a lot of troubled souls around. Lots of troubled souls. Say that again? Oh. Joel knows he's young, he's more hippie, he knows all these things. Maybe I'm using the wrong terminology. But there's nothing out there. That won't ease your soul. That won't ease your soul. David said, oh, magnify the Lord with me. And let us do what? Praise, exalt his name together. Not alone, in my secret place in my bedroom. I can serve God in my bedroom. You can't. You cannot. The house of my God is your refuge. This is where you come away from the storms of life. This is where you come and say, I need my God. I need more of my God. Let's read on. It says, the Lord hath sworn in truth unto David that he will not turn from it. Of the fruit of thy body will I set upon the throne. If thy children, listen to this carefully, verse 12, if thy children will keep my covenant and my testimony, that I shall teach them, their children shall also sit upon thy throne forevermore. Do you know what that means? Specifically to David. But now make it specifically to you. You stay and you serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Your children will follow. They will. Sometimes it's a selection process. Sometimes it's a journey process. But you must serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, no matter what. This is your refuge. It's personal. Take it personal. If I do my best, if I can do all I can for my God, if I've got 25 children, which I do not, just for the record, but at least one must follow my footstep. They must. I've won. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, what did Christ said? One soul returns back. Heavens are happy. Imagine that. You've been out there doing foolishness in the world. You didn't even know his name. Then you come and the saints are happy. Yes. Yes. My son or my daughter or my child, they've returned back home. That's them. What about you? How is it the same with you? It's the same. It's happiness. Let's read on. For the Lord hath chosen Zion. He hath desired it for his habitation. He didn't say a room. He didn't say a shack. He didn't say someplace. He said Zion. A place where his name is, his tabernacle is, his altar is, where you can now come and commune and glorify the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Though there's troubles outside, and there's going to be a million things happening, I'm telling you. And it's going to heat up. It's heating up. But here, Zion, when you're in that one mind, that one spirit, and you're all in one accord, could you imagine how the presence and the spirit of my God will work? This is my rest forever. Here will I dwell, for I have desired it. So why would you want to be anywhere else? Why would you want to be anywhere else where he's just said his spirit is here? I'm going to be dwelling here. You want healing? Come. Joel will touch you and you're going to be healed immediately. It is the truth. You can't speak? No problem. Shanette will in the back, and all of a sudden, your vocal cords back, you start singing. It is truth. You can't teach? You need to teach? Teacher tomorrow will just say, okay, bam! All of a sudden, you're teaching and you don't know what's going on. You want to sing? You want to rap? You want to dance? I saw your video dancing. You want to dance? You want to sing? Elder Freddie, immediately, I'm telling you, just that's it. Before you know it, you can look at dance better than Michael Jackson, singing better than Bobby Brown. No. I believe that. I believe. Joel is so funny. But this is what it is. This is the house of my God. This is where miracles happen. This is where your truth is. This is where your life is. You cannot go anywhere else. When the storm is outside, you run home. I've never known anybody that if there's a storm outside, they run to the supermarket for shelter. The first place I'm thinking about, I need to get home. Home is where? Your family. You're going to look, oh, my son, my daughter, my mum, my dad, my sister, my cousin. You're going to run home. There's a refuge. So when there's things going on outside and your life is going crazy, people are doing all kind of foolishness because they are going to. They're spirits. You know what a spirit is? You can't see it. It will hop from one to the other, to the other, to the other. That's all it's going to do, and it's going to be aimed at you, and it's going to keep going until it gets you. That's his job. That's his purpose. So you run to the place where there's refuge, where you can gather your strength. And that's why I like this subject matter. It's a little different, but I want you to think about it. Think, brethren, think. I will abundantly bless her provision. I will satisfy her poor with bread. I will satisfy her poor with bread. I will also clothe her priests with salvation, and her saints shall shout aloud for joy. There will I make the horn of David to bud. I will ordain a lamp for mine anointed. His enemies will I clothe with shame, but upon himself shall his crown flourish. Where? He said it in his tabernacle. That's where it's going to happen. You're not going to be, that's not happening outside. I don't care how much you want to go. You're going to go so far. But in the tabernacle of my God, you'll be clothed. You will not be poor. There's no poor in Israel. There isn't. There is none. Because my God said so. And I have to prove my God's word. We will prove it. But it's down to you. How much are you going to put in to my God? Because he's God. He's done it. He's done everything that he needs to do. And remember this one thing, you know, when they brought bread to the Queen of Heaven? Who can remember that story? Who remembers the story when they brought bread to the Queen of Heaven? And their little children, they baked cakes. It was so good. It's so nice. It's nice, you know. You can do whatever you want. You can break bread to the Queen of Heaven. Give you gifts. Queen of Heaven, can you bless me with a car? You get a car. You get, oh, it's so good. And then when they bethink themselves, because now the prophet or the priest has come, and they're like, oh, they feel shame. Then they came back to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What happened? Speak with me. What happened? No, what happened? After we staved off from breaking bread to the Queen of Heaven, we're in want for all things. Why? Somebody explain, because you know why I like this subject matter? Because it's always happening. And we as Israelites, we must never forget. We have got bad memories. We have. And I don't like it. Because we have to remember these things so we don't make the continual mistakes. And the mistakes that will affect our children and the children and the children. Because it will. The reason why, because the God of Israel further on read, he said, did you think I forgot what you did? Do you think I forgot you brought bread to the Queen of Heaven? If I had a son and I loved my son, and my son decided to leave my home after I've given him everything, I made him rich, I give him everything, and then he goes and he calls someone else dad, and that dad abuses him and treats him bad, and then he comes back to me, what am I going to do? Hi, son. I'm so happy to see you. Yeah, I might say that, but do you think I'm just going to go and give him a Ferrari? No. Do you think I'm going to give him a Mercedes? No. Do you think I'm going to go and give him a $50 million house? No. I said, buddy, you better start go and clean my driveway. I spilled some oil. Go and wash, thank you. Go and shine my cars. Do you know what that is, brethren? What is it that we all have to go through? One word. Humility. Because when you read with the rich man and his two sons, the son said, maybe if I I come back as his servant, I can come in. I can just be a cleaner. But you see how he came. He came with humility to his house. But where did he go back to? The house, the refuge. He remembered, hold on, this is where I'm supposed to be. He said, my father has got servants, so many servants, everything is there for me. What am I doing? I went outside, he slept with how many whores? He went and he ate all the pig he could have polluted his whole system. And then when the world has finished him, when he's in the dirt, he said he wasn't even recognizable. Let's look at it from a spiritual standpoint now. Now you come back to the refuge of my God. How do you look spiritually? Has anyone seen their spirit? No. How do you think you look if your spirit is polluted? How? You think you look like how you look now? All dressed and beautiful. You know, you do your hair and the makeup and the lipstick and all these things. You know, you put a nice aftershave and a nice suit, tie and everything. Do you think your spirit looks like that when you polluted it, serving other gods? So what do you think my God sees? He said, those that worship me must worship me in spirit and in truth. So he's looking at your spirit, not your flesh. And if that spirit is ugly and polluted because you've served multiple gods, you've got all the markings of the other gods on you. Do you know that? I don't think you know that. When they put the cross upon your head, what do you think that is? When they put symbolisms upon you as a child, you don't know what they've done to you. And that has to be washed and purged and removed from you. Now you can excel. Remember, there's a process. It's a process. Everything's a process. Nothing can be just overnight. Nothing. So, I'm going to read on. I'm going to go to now the book of John. John chapter 8. And we're going to read from the very first verse, from John chapter 8. Are we there? Okay. Actually, no. I'll go down because I'm going to be here longer. John chapter 8, verse 12. 8, verse 12, and it reads, Then spake Jesus again. We know that this is Jesus, this is the Christ. Spake unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. What did we just say about what your spirit looks like? What does it look like? Is it dark or light? What is it? If the Christ is said, I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. Anyone that comes unto me, you will not walk in darkness, but you're going to be walking in light like me. But if you've worshipped other gods and you've taken heed to the storms of the world, and now you come inside, you're not in light, you're in darkness still. There's a process to turn on a light switch. Do you know that? To fixing a light bulb or making this light connection, there's a process. It's not magically done. There's a lot of electrical parts and things that need to be done before it works without you getting electrocuted. There is always a process for everything. And the bigger the light, the bigger the process. And also the greater the humility at times. The Pharisees therefore said unto him, Thou bearest record of thyself. Thy record is not true. Jesus Christ answered and said unto them, he said, Though I bear record of myself, yet my record is true. For I know whence I came, and whither I go, but ye cannot tell whence I come and whither I go. Again, who's the authority here? Ye judge after the flesh. I judge no man. And yet if I judge, my judgment is true, for I am not alone, but I and the Father that sent me. It is also written in your law that the testimony of two men is true. I am one that bear witness of myself, and the Father that sent me beareth witness of me. Then said they unto him, Where is thy Father? Jesus answered, Ye neither know me nor my Father. For if ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. Who is the Father? He is the head of the house. That's who he is. He is the head of the tabernacle. He is the head of Jerusalem. He is the head of the altar. He is the one in charge. But if you're not in the home, how could you obtain entrance? If you don't know the Father, you can't come in. There's no one coming into my house and I don't know who you are. You can stay outside. And it's the same principle. Being able to know who is in the home for you to gain entry. You can't just walk in. If I want shelter, I'm so happy that I know the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm happy I know Elder Shadrach. I'm happy I know the council and the priesthood. I'm happy I know my brethren. Because outside, spiritually, is raging. The storm is coming. And storms will always come. We're in that season. But who is going to call upon the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for their refuge? Who? And really sincerely mean that. Who? Not just because I have the ability to come, oh, I'm okay, I'm safe. No. Let's read. These words spake Jesus unto the in the treasury, as he taught in the temple, and no man laid hands on him, for his hour was not yet come. Then said Jesus again unto them, I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. Whither I go, ye cannot come. Then said Jesus unto them, again unto them, I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. Whither I go, ye cannot come. Then said the Jews, we will kill him. No. Then said the Jews, will he kill himself? Because he saith, whither I go, ye cannot come. You know, when the Christ is speaking, it sometimes might be hard for you all to understand what he's saying. But it's clear and it's simple. Where I go, you can't come. Because you're dirty. You're dirty. You're polluted. I've said to you what to do. You can't even recognize who I am. You don't even know who my Father is. How could you obtain entrance into the house that I go to prepare for you? How? You see, the stormers are all around Jerusalem. They didn't even know that the Christ, the begotten of the Father, was right there. Right there. The man, he's there. He said, the kingdom of heaven is nigh unto you. They couldn't even recognize it. He's right there. My help, my salvation is there. He's standing, talking to you. But because you look on the man's face, but he's the one who gives you key and entrance into the door and into the house. You see, it's so important for us to know these critical things. Critical things when it comes to our God. One is who his servants are, because that's how you gain entry. Secondly, is to respect the home that he's built. You know, there's this saying when you go to the cinema, for young people that go to the cinema, like me, sometimes, and it's like, you're going to treat this place is not your living room. Tamar knows, right? Because she was at this, right? There's an announcement. It's not your living room. So your popcorn, you can't put your foot up in there talking, you're throwing popcorn. This is not how you, this is a public place. A place that you respect for other people that are there. And if you can respect the tabernacle of my God, home, if you can respect this place, you respect yourself. You show that respect. And that's very important for us all to understand, because this is where we all need to be in one accord. You know what? When there's a storm coming outside, we all come inside here. What are you going to do? Fight each other? You're going to fight each other when they're throwing missiles outside? No. You're going to hurt each other because, no. You're going to cleave to each other. You're going to hold each other. You're going to love each other because that's all you have. The storm is outside raging. You need each other. We need each other. And he's given us a specific place and a specific order of how things ought to be in his place of refuge. You see, I know sometimes it's difficult because we clash in personalities. I don't clash with Danielle because Danielle likes me. Danielle's my friend. You know? I don't clash with Shernette because Shernette's my friend. I don't clash with anybody. Teacher tomorrow? Tomorrow, yeah, right. So what? It's good. Sometimes you got to hear the rough and the smooth. You can't be always honey and sweet things and sweet lips and make you feel good. Sometimes you need rough. You need a sword. You do. And that's what shapes and sharpens a man. Do you know what the proverb said? Iron sharpeneth iron. That's what it does. But if you have a blunt iron and a sharp one, and it does, one of them's going to get damaged. And it's more likely the blunt one. And so we have to be able to take that heat and take that pressure. We are children of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he's called us into his house, out of the storm that's about to take place in our lives and around us. There's only safety in Israel. That's it. If you're an Israelite, your only safe place is here. You look at the other nations. Where do they go to? Church, or the shrine, or to their mosque, or wherever they go to. And they find safety there. I listen to them. They can't wait. They wake up in the morning, 5 a.m. You see all the men in one accord in their uniform. And they're going to the temple. That they've got these graven images. Have you seen it? And they all go there in the morning. They all go to their place of refuge in the morning. Maybe you guys should go down there. Officer Doreen knows. They've got a big statue. I couldn't believe it's blue. Oh, there's three blue gods. I'm like, these are big gods. You know, I'm like, wow. You know, and you just pass by, you see it's guarded and it's gated and it's clean because they're all working together. And in the morning, you pass by in the morning and you see them there worshiping wood and stone. And then you call Israel. Who is on the Lord's side? Israel. What happened? It's like, service is at 3 o'clock. One strolling in, 10 to 3. And these people are serving 3 stones, wooden stone, 5 a.m., dressed and suited, ready to do all their foolishness. And we serve the mighty God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, where he has the only altar unto him in the world. In the world, and we drag our feet and we make excuses when he's saying there's a war, guys, come home. There's a war, there's a battle, there's a storm. Do you see it? Can you feel it? They mocked Noah. They mocked him. All that time he's building an ark on dry ground. They must be saying, hold on, let's do this calculation, Noah. 50 miles east, west, north, and south is dry ground. Just say, what are you doing? You're a madman. They laughed at him. He just, it's okay. I'm going to keep building it. I don't know, because God told me I got to do this. I got to do this thing. Sons, do this one. Wife, okay, good. Everyone in harmony. Okay, guys, it's looking kind of grey. I'm doing this, but I don't think he had a watch. But, he's there and he's okay. You can see it. Everyone start making their way, and the storm is now taking place. Who was not invited in, stay outside. If you're not in that ark, in that place of safety, stay outside. Because the only thing that's left for you is death. That's it. There's no help. Because you made the choice. And this is why we always have to remember, you don't mock the person who's been sent to do the job. You know that. You never do that. You never, because they mocked Moses. Look what happened to them. They mocked Joshua. Look what happened. They mocked David. Look what happened. They mocked the Christ. Look what happened. They mocked Elder Shadow. Look what happened. Don't play around. Don't play. Because it's going to happen to you. You never don't just look on the man. Look at the spirit that's inside the man. Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear will see and hear it. And if you don't, that's none of my business. That's on you. None of my business. I'll sit back and I'll watch you. And I'll be entertained. And smile. Go to the mic. So Elder Harriet has a question.
My question is, what is mocking? 'Cause you said they mock all these different men of God.
Yes.
What is it?
Mocking. Mocking is very clear. Who do you think you are? I am holier than you. I am holy too. I'm an Israelite too. I'm anointed. I can do what I want to. I can go to the altar whenever I feel like it. I can do this whatever I want. Noah, you're a madman. I'm spiritual too. I commune with this angel. I commune with all these beasts. I don't care about all of that. The God of Israel sent one person. That's it. One person. He didn't send multiple. Dathan, Korah, Abiram. Look what happened to them. 250 princes thought that they were holy. Look what happened to them. Miriam and Aaron. Miriam outside the camp, 7 days, leprosy. Stay outside. That's it. And that's why you have to be careful, because you don't know the spirit with any of our leaders. You do not. And it's dangerous to yourself, and it's dangerous to the people that do that. And we are the only nation on earth that does it. No other nation does it. I'm telling you. I meet a lot of people, and I listen to the respect they have to their bosses, some of them. I listen to the respect they have for their leaders in their different things and what do we call it, philosophies. They have the utmost respect. Us? Who is Moses? Moses, who do you think you are? I'm holy too, Moses. Only ones that do it. And it's disrespectful and it's betrayal. It's a Satan spirit. That's probably what it is. Because he did it in heaven. That's it. You've got a spirit of Lucifer. Get out of town. And Elder Freddie has a sword. And I have another one. And we're ready. Because at the end of the day, there has to be a time where those that will stand for the God of Israel will stand. And those who want to fall, good luck. I have no emotions and no feelings regarding to that. Because we cannot lead or run a house with emotions and feelings. It doesn't work. You listen to what his word said. Stay by the principles of our God and you'll succeed. It's simple. If you decide to be led by emotions, then we fail. That's what it is. It's failure. Because the other side know what to do. They've been on the earth for a long time. They know what your likes is. They know what your wants is. They know what to get you up and all agitated. They know what to do. And they will do it to the max. Because they see the storm that's coming. They want you outside in the storm. You're no profit to them inside here. You're not. Unless they can use you for evil. Unless they can use you for evil. And even then you have to keep your eyes open. Because remember what suffers, brethren. I'm not going off topic. Remember what suffers. Your soul will suffer for what you did now. For what you allowed your spirit to do. Your body's dead. Your soul will suffer. Because that's what gets judged. The soul that sinneth shall surely die. Not the spirit, your soul. The Spirit will go back and do what it needs to do or find another host. But you will suffer. So don't make that mistake. Do not. There's so much goodness in this home, in this house. There is. When you walk inside, we was at the feast. You walk inside and you see the place decorated. Sometimes I wonder how Elder Harriet puts all these things up here. It must like 50 million hours to put all these things up. And you walk inside and you see it. And you're like, Abby has a very tall order to live up to. Because when you have a feast of that magnitude, you now have to live up to that. You cannot come down. You cannot. Any one of us. It's an upgrade. When you offer up a child, do you know what that is? There's expectation. Heavy expectation. You must go up. You don't go down or backwards. Remember the house you're in. Remember the house that you're in. And not everybody can stand. Not everybody. And if you look in the days of old, not everybody could stay in the king's court. You do know that, right? And there were layers. And Elder Shadrach said it today, even in just a small. It's layers. You can't just go like that. There's procedure. I might not be able to be here today. I might be there tomorrow. But you behave yourself. That's why David said, I'll behave myself what? Wisely. When I come in the house of my God. Wisely. Not foolishly or entitledly. He said, I'd rather be a doorkeeper. Let me open the door than dwell in a house of wickedness, a tent of wicked people. That's what I would rather be. Again, but where are you? You're in the house. You're in the house. I'm opening the door. I don't care. I'm in the house. I don't care. I'm opening the door, buddy. Come on in. But I'm in the house. I'm not over there. I'm in here. So I'm good. I'm safe. I'm safe from that storm. Because why? Humility is the hardest thing for our people. Hardest. But that's how you get into the home. And that's how the rich boy, that's how he got back in. He was humble. Because he bethink himself, maybe I'm going to go. I'm just going to be like the servant. Maybe serve some food, wash the dishes, maybe do something small, maybe clean the shoes. I don't mind. Maybe just open the door. But I'm in the house. I'm outside. I'm inside, away from where I was. Outside, everybody mocked him. Look at you. Look at this one prince eating swine's food and all unclean meats where you was eating royal food before, beautiful meat. Now you're eating dog food from a can. Or cat food, which they say is fit for human consumption, not for me or you. But think about who you are, brethren. Think. We are people of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And for those that want to be an Israelite, it's your opportunity. Your opportunity, but it's down to you and what you do next. Because you've heard the voice of our Elder Shadrach when he's spoken. And it's like, it kind of reminds me of John. You're crying in the wilderness, no one's listening to you. You're crying in the wilderness, people stone. Who's this guy? The Christ is going, everyone's slapping him. What are you talking about? Spitting on you and all these things. And all you're going to do is bring life to them. I don't know about it. I don't know, brethren. I don't know if you really connect that. Someone loves you enough that wants to tell you something that's going to help your soul. And you find no lie in what they said. No lie. The truth. And you still have the bitterness inside of you against them. You're evil. You're an evil person. Wicked. I say with a smile on my face because I like it. You are. And the reason, and you know why? Because the person has been sent to give you life, to deliver you out of the hand of bondage. Someone loves me enough to do that. Think about it. To say, come into my house. Come to my house where you have everything you need. You want a bed? Look, triple Dulux. What was it? Dulux. Foam mattress. When he's lying, just contours to the body of your spine. You have the best sheets, silk sheets. You have the biggest room so big. Food you want. Come to my home. I'll look after you. There's refuge here. But that's what happens. We come, we have it, and then we leave, and then we disappear. and we take it all outside. And then the storm outside is going to be bad. You know it's coming? Do you know what storm's coming next, brethren? A bad one. And you're going to have to be grounded, ready, your feet grounded in here. Because it's gonna come. It's going to come. We're approaching a very significant part of this nation. An incredible time of this nation. 40 years. 40 years. Some of us are not 40 years old yet. But the nation, the altar has been alive, thriving 40 years. You have Elder Shadrach. You have Elder Castrilli. You have Elder Freddie. Elder Michael. Officer Charmaine, those early years, you have to pay respect for that. You have to understand that. These are men and women of the house. Do you understand that? Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, of the house in Jerusalem. You can't just walk up into the house and think you own anything. We don't own anything. I can't do that. This place was built upon the backs of people that said, I'm going to serve my God. Come, I don't want to say it, but you know that. There, come high water, that's it, good. I won't say the other one. There you go, there's Elder Michael. Come heaven or high water, right? I can say that one. That's right, well let them come, we got swords. And this is what it is, and that's what it's about. These are the people that we have to honor and show respect for, because why? They've allowed entry. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't think you do. Because Elder Michael said, I just wanted to be me and Elder Shadrach and a couple people. That's it. That's it. You guys, I ain't got time for y'all. You're stubborn, stiff-necked. No, I can't do black people. But guess what? The God of Israel said, okay, Elder Michael, it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry, Elder Michael. We'll send one that will allow it. We'll send another priest to help you out. This is what I'm trying to say, brethren. You have the opportunity to serve the greatest God of all in his house. Don't let him down. Don't let him down. And always remember, there's always refuge in his home. No matter what it is, there's refuge here. You're going to go through it. We are all going to go through it. Some of us are going through it right now. But guess what? It's exciting. It is exciting. Good, Joel. Sometimes you got to look at the negative as there's beauty in there somewhere. There's something good in that. There is. Like, you're alive. Like, you're alive. When they're coming after you, you're like, oh, you tried to get me. All right.
You chose me, huh?
Yeah, you chose me to fight. All right. Okay. After I've dealt with you, I go to the gym and do 5 plates, and then after that, I'm ready to go again. That's what you got to do. Fuel yourself up. You got to get ready. It's a war. It's a battle. We fight, not flesh and blood. We're not fighting each other. Spiritual wickedness in high places that we cannot see. We cannot see them. But brethren, my time is completed. And I hope that you have a really wonderful day. And for those online, thank you for joining us at the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Peace.